Hey guys, I'm Nichola.
I'm Hugh.
And we are
MKH.
And we are doing another type of commentary video. We've been doing more of these lately, but it's not the only thing we do. So if you prefer to see family vlogs and life in Korea stuff, we have plenty of other videos like that. But today something came up, so we're doing one of these videos. So take it away, Hugh.
Not long ago we were talking about like racism in Australia, the media saying about BTS, but this time is from Korea. And not long ago, actually it's this week, and there is one event in Iksan, which is down south in Korea, and there was like a multicultural family event, and then the mayor was there, and then he did a speech, and he was saying 잡종 강세 to multicultural family children, which is not good way to say. Actually, that way we usually say to dogs and you know, mixed dogs and that kind of thing. So it's not really good way to say it.
So we were talking about this, and what he said is very offensive, right?
It's very offensive already.
Yeah.
But what he's saying also, because he can't say tiggy, so
What does tiggy mean?
tiggy is like mixed as well, but it's not also good.
As that's also not a good way to say
way
it.
to say.
Yeah.
I don't think this is Korean way. I don't know. Twiggy.
I don't know. Is it a loan word?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So he couldn't say that. That's why he said 잡종, which is even worst. And
so he said this like at a speech at a multicultural family event. Like who said this to multicultural families?
Yes. And then there are multicultural family children, and then their parents, they hurt. And then also saying that like, because multicultural family children, they are smart and pretty, so if they can't control well, they will be bad in the society, and if they control well, they will be good for the society. They say if we can't control, it will be like Paris happened, like
riots in Paris.
Yeah.
Which isn't like a totally separate thing, and it's not like Paris is, you know, burning now with huge problems. Okay, so let's unpack this a little bit, because for English speakers, we have to understand that this is really bad in Korean. So we were trying to see a way, like what type of word in English? Mongrel? Like we would use the term mongrel for like mixed dogs, and then when somebody says to somebody, "Oh, you mongrel," like it's an insult to people.
It is insult.
Yeah, but then he was it like he was trying to make it better by saying, "Oh, they're strong and they're pretty," because he was trying to use the sort of phrase like hybrid vigor. You know, when there's mixed like that and something can be stronger, but is completely inappropriate to talk about children in that way.
No, he shouldn't say it like that. And he said why this is problem, because we say you guys are good, like and then he said, oh, biologically and scientifically this is the word that we use, but we don't use that word for human. Come on.
So this is in Korean language, you have different counters and a different system for when you're talking about animals compared to when you're talking about humans, right?
Yes.
And he was using animal terms to talk about biracial children.
So he can just say like 혼혈. 혼혈 is mixed blood. That's not really great, but that's okay. That's right. But 잡종 is we using it for, you know, dogs and animals.
And
it doesn't mean dogs and animals are bad, but like that's kind of insult.
It's insult, right? And he didn't see it that way. So, and this talk about we need to control them. Oh, they're going to be stronger. They're going to be prettier children. So we need to control them. Isn't that saying that they're second-class citizens?
Dictator? Or
yeah,
what?
like you want to be a dictator controlling the. Like this, because there's a lot more multiracial children in Korea now, and they're Korean children. There's a lot more multicultural families, but he's already seeing these children as like different from other Korean, and then we need to control them. Those are the type of steps that you become a fascist society with a dictatorship like that. So what's this guy's position? He's a mayor
He's a mayor.
of a town?
Yeah.
Okay.
City.
Of a city.
Iksan city is not too big but not too small.
Yeah. It's not like his totally tiny little village.
No,
out.
it's not.
It's not.
It has
Okay.
power.
So what has been people's response to this in Korea?
So many, like, Korean people are so upset about this. So I share this on my Facebook. Lots of my Korean friends that's really bad, and so many people actually signing the things he need to, not just apologize. You are not. You don't have a right to be in that
Yeah.
position.
People are signing petitions.
Yeah,
right?
you need to quick. You
Yeah.
know, and he actually apologized about these things. He said, it didn't mean that. I tried to make Iksan is the best for the multicultural family city in the world, like that kind of things. Yeah.
But somebody like that, you already know that's what their mentality is.
Yeah, yeah.
So
That's
you
the
can't.
thing. You already show
You
your
should
mentality.
be out. Yeah. There's no backstepping and being like, oh, I didn't mean to. Because when I sort of first, friends were sending me this article, when I first sort of saw it, I thought, oh, did somebody just slip up and say the wrong word, and then like, oh no, sorry, I didn't mean to say it like that. But it's so much more than that, isn't it?
And then he was keep talking about like defending it, and then so many people, and then so much media attention, and he finally apologized about this one. So,
Is defending right away.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like sometimes people can accidentally just on a subconscious level say the wrong word for something, and then right away they're like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say it like that. That's like the correct response. But if he's defending, that means that's what his belief is. He means that biracial children in Korea are second-class citizens, that they have to be controlled, that there's something to be worried about.
otherwise they will do something to the society.
So, as a multicultural family in Korea with a biracial son,
We are like
how do we feel about that?
I don't know, like they think we are bomb, so we need to really always, control by someone.
Yeah, what are they expecting? Should biracial children then be like, registered? Oh, where's your papers? We need to control you. We need to watch
Isn't
you.
it? Not only problem is what he's saying for like, Mongolo or that kind of thing. So what he's thinking is the most problem here, because he think we, the multicultural family children, can be dangerous later. Like who are not gonna be dangerous? Like everyone can be good. Like you don't know why you only say these people. This kind of thinking is like that.
And I think people try to use compliments to justify racism as well. I think it's been used against black people, for example. Oh, black people are so strong and that type of thing, and then we need to control them. But people try to be like, oh, this is remember on Get Out, right?
Yeah.
That type of mentality. They're praising, but actually it's all just another form of racism. Okay, so we just watched the news stuff again just to see if there's anything more or anything that we missed that we wanted to say.
It's pretty much what we said, but after that happened, and he was saying in Paris that happened because the French government didn't really control these multicultural children, and they become violent later, and then they made this situation. So that's why we have to control these people.
It's so ridiculous because every country has a different situation that can be complicated. You can't just be like this because of this, right?
So are they gonna put some barcode on multicultural family children? And because he was saying it's potential criminals,
So our son, who is Australian Korean, is already considered by people like that is already considered to be a potential criminal. Like a 1-year-old, he's a potential criminal. Like what? As a Korean father of a multicultural child, what's your feeling?
Angry and upsetting.
Was there also, we know there was a lot of outrage and people demanding apology, but was there also people who didn't see what was wrong with that?
They say using the word is really really bad, but what he talk about the Paris happened, and then need to control these children because they are smart and pretty. that's I think even worse than what he used that word.
That people are like justifying it, right? Like, oh, you shouldn't have said like that, but it's not a big deal what he said because what he said is true, is what some people think, right?
That's what some people said.
Yeah, and so that's what is upsetting for us, you know, being a multicultural family living in Korea.
Actually, I talked with one of my French friend about this yesterday, and then there was nothing like really happened like this.
That's what's really confusing about
like,
it.
I don't know, where did you get all this, you know, story from?
Yeah.
You just took the story from somewhere and then just use it.
Yeah.
Like even French people didn't say like that.
Like what? For us, we are very passionate about multiculturalism, and we think Korea can be a really great country, even more because of multiculturalism. So it's very hurtful for us when there's something like that. I'm glad that there's backlash and people are saying that, you know, he shouldn't be a politician anymore. But it is a weird thing in Korea sometimes that our children, biracial children, often they're sort of almost put on a platform of like, oh, they're so beautiful and they're so talented, and, you know, they get the modeling opportunity jobs, and, you know, they can get a lot of praise all the time. Like, we walk anywhere we go with Yul, every 5 minutes somebody says how cute he is, or stop and look at him. And so there's this overwhelming positive attention, but then there's the negative stuff of people saying he's a foreigner, or, you know, that sort of questioning of whether he's a real Korean like that. And so there's a real double-edged sword of being the type of family that we are in Korea. And our last video we talked about the xenophobia in that TV show in Australia, and so there's problems in Australia as well, and that's why we want to always be balanced about this. Australia has problems with racism, Korea has problems with racism. Both countries have problems with accepting and understanding multicultural families. And in general, I think our lives, like, people are very accepting of us in both Australia and Korea. And there's also a bit of white privilege with that as well, with me being Caucasian. But then you see something on the media like this, and sometimes you feel like you live in this little bubble of like, oh, actually there's people that think that way out there. There's politicians that think that way. And that can kind of be something that really brings you to the ground and is really hurtful and makes you worry about the future of your child.
People were just saying, like, because you're like our children, you know, our son is like Caucasian in Korean, so it's okay. But the problem of like other children who are, you know, Southeast Asian or Asian children, they got bullied and had so much like disadvantage. But like, we are all multicultural
We're all
families.
multicultural families.
I mean, maybe they feel really bad, so they can't really say. So, but we want to say about these things because this is problem. So we need to change.
We're in a privileged position that we can talk about this more openly, and there's a lot of multicultural families that, you know, Southeast Asian with Korean, and especially a lot of women that are married into these families don't have a platform to speak out about this. And that's what I really hate, how people, because Yul is biracial, but he's biracial Korean white, they'll put him in a different category to other children, and other children are more likely to be bullied more. And there's just so many things that need to change in society, and we can't just look at our own situation. As a multicultural family, we need to consider all multicultural families and how they're being affected by racism and prejudice like that.
So we care about these families as well, and many people actually told me about, like, even though I make these kind of videos and I speak out, I have a voice to, you know, the social media and talking about like multiculturalism, and it might not be changed, but like, think about it's your children's the world that they live.
Yeah.
You know, why don't you try to make a better world for
place.
them?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, maybe it might not change it right away, but I'm sure, definitely sure, it will change slowly.
Yeah, we just want to be part of that chain of it changing, right? I think the worst thing we can do is just to not do
Not
anything
that,
at all.
That make the worse.
Yeah.
The society
Yeah.
and
Oh, it's too
everything
hard,
is
nothing's
worse,
going to
worse.
change, we're not going to bother. No, we want to be part of the change, even if we only see a small part of the change in our lifetime. When we're thinking about the future and we're thinking about our son's future and all multicultural kids in Korea, their future as well.
And then there will be the future of Korea.
That's right.
So I hope people understand more about multiculturalism, and if you, when you say about these multicultural families, think a little bit more carefully. Like it might hurt, you know, it might hurt them.
Yeah, what words are being used.
Yeah, I want people to be more positive about these things, and you know, if there is something like people can learn things. You know,
Yeah.
There are so many ignorance, and they didn't know about this. That's why they didn't know this is racism. This is hurt to other people. So I think need to educate more.
Now
about
is the
these
time
things.
to learn, right?
Yeah, like there's so many Korean parents. They send their children to overseas, living in America, Australia, Canada, or somewhere in Europe, and they have same situation. Like
They can experience racism, right?
yes.
Yes.
So think about that way.
Yes. And this is, I find frustrating, is when people experience racism in another country and then they don't stop to think about how somebody in their country might be experiencing racism. Like, all they do is they just then become so anti the other country instead of being like, well, I had this experience. What's something that I could do in my own country so people don't feel the way that I felt?
Yes.
Yeah.
You change and things will change around you.
Yeah. Please subscribe to us if you haven't already and click the bell icon so you can get the notifications when we have a new video up, and check out some of our other videos for like family vlog time, some other more light-hearted stuff. And I have comics on the blog about our intercultural life together, and you can check out
Or the social media.
Yep. And we'll see you later. Bye-bye.
Bye. We are not always talking about something serious.
Just sometimes when it comes up.
Yeah, just like last few weeks, like this kind of topic. That's what we're talking about. It. We always usually do something
Positive
and happy life living in Korea.
Yep. Bye bye.
Bye bye.